All right, it's Sunday again. You know what that means. Yagging with Yukon. Welcome to it, people. Nobody's joined in quite yet, but once we do, we'll be sure to welcome everybody. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Short, as always, done. And let's get one thing out of the way. Did you all go on a freaking toy hunt? Because I didn't. So I'm a total hypocrite because I've been telling you guys, demeaning you guys, go on a freaking toy hunt all week, and I didn't even do it myself. So this week, when I post a gentle reminder to go on a freaking toy hunt every day this week, either it be YouTube or Instagram, just call me a liar. You did, you found nothing, Dre. I can see that because that's most of the reason I didn't go on a freaking toy hunt is because there's nothing to find. So, what's up, Dre? Let's see. I'm gonna try something new. Couple new things. I'm gonna try clicking on the comments and I have my logo up there and I have the background. So we're gonna see how this goes. We're trying to get more official. What's up, Joe? How you doing, buddy? Good to have you on. Um, yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing, Dre. So let's get to it. Got a great guest for you guys tonight. We've got Brett from Collecting with Cool. You guys have probably seen him on Kenobi's podcast. He's been on there a couple times, and then I think he has his own as well. So if you guys haven't seen Collecting with Cool, haven't gone to his channel, definitely go check him out. Get him a sub. Definitely hit the like button on his videos. Hit the like button on this video. We need to keep this momentum going. It's really gone well the last few months, honestly. So appreciate all you guys with the support. Appreciate you guys being here. Facts, nothing new. You're absolutely right, Trip. All right, so enough chitter chatter for me. Let's bring in our guest. Let me cue up his music. We'll get the show rolling. Well, I don't know where Brett's at, but we got a stormtrooper.
Aren't you a little short to be a YouTuber? Huh?
What's up, man?
I'm Collecting was cool. I'm here to rescue your podcast.
It needs rescuing, believe me. There's times
Oh,
I'm
when
like,
I said you, I meant me.
oh, you, okay. Well, I don't think you need rescuing. Brett,
up?
how you doing, man? How you doing? It's great to have you in the show. Thanks again for a little bit of short notice. Thank you so much for being on the show. How things going for you, man?
Good, man.
Good, good. What's new in your world right now in terms of collecting and
just
the whole thing?
I was going crazy last year into the fall and collecting and running out of money multiple times. I don't know. You get kind of crazy. You have this, like, I'm not really a completionist, but you'll have like your mindset on 5 or 6 things and you go grab them, and I don't know. Then you just your brain just starts going crazy with all this stuff, and you're like, I need an idea. I got to go get something. I need an idea. And I just had to take a break mentally. So I brought my podcast back out of the mothballs and got that going. I've just been working on that, and then I got into 3D printing.
Oh, nice.
Recently, there's a creator space, maker space. I'm not even sure what they call it. I think it's called a maker space. My county library actually sponsors it. And it's all free, with exception. You can't be in there like making an Etsy shop inventory. But so I've actually only made like a couple things, and I've been going up there every week, just to learn how all that stuff works. So now I'm at the phase where I have something to get my hands on, and so I'm talking to all these guys that I've met over the last year or so, like, hey, how do I paint this? How do I get this ready?
Huge learning curve, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What's the main thing that you're out to print? Is it helmets? Is it armor? Well, what are you kind of looking at?
At first I thought I would just do everything bigger.
Okay.
Like take an original Boba Fett and make him 12-inch, but not like the 12-inch that came out. Make him look like the actual figure or something like that. Just put a different spin on it, or take characters that weren't 12-inch, like what's his name? Like Maydeen or somebody, and make them a 12-inch, and just goofy stuff like that. But then when you see how that all works, then you kind of slow your roll a little bit. And I was like, well, what are some cool things that I remember from childhood or the movies that I love? So, as well as Star Wars, Indiana Jones is big for me. Nice. And so I started out with the gold idol that he grabbed in the first movie. So I found a site that had the print files, and then I printed that. So I'm it's complete. It's done. I'll show it to you here in a minute, but I have to do the hard part and get it ready for paint, and it's kind of a
Right.
process. So, but my goal is, and I don't know if I'll have it done this year, but over the course of however long it takes, I would like to do a life-size C3PO.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And I found
Articulated and everything.
well, I found a website that the guy, he put the files out there so you can get his files, and then he dedicated a website to how he got the paint movie correct and all the details. The eyes light up, everything. It can articulate, but with that stuff, it's not necessarily heavy duty.
Right.
So I'm gonna kind of just pose it and leave it alone. You could do it in like resin, which is almost like PVC.
Right. Right.
But the printers that I have access to won't take resin, so I can just do it thicker and it takes longer. So like just the front face piece of the full size head is going to take like 26 hours on one printer and over
Ooh.
2 days on another.
You got to
So
be patient when you
you
do
do.
3D printing. It's
You
not
do.
a
So like
slow process. It's a slow
Yep.
process.
So I can do all the little greebles, they call them, and all the little bolts and everything for his head and all that pretty fast within probably hours. And then when I go to do the head, like maybe I just make that my goal, have the head done, figure out how to do the circuits for the lights, and then just have it for a display for a while. But I'm meeting new people that do this stuff.
Yeah.
And I just met a guy the other day. He's doing like the B1 droid life size. He's got like a Yoda life size. He told me he ended up buying 4 printers and he's got them going all the time. And I'm just like, well, the printers aren't super expensive, but my electricity bill.
Right.
Probably,
exactly. Exactly. Well, I know. Do you know? So I don't know if you follow Rebels, Reptiles, and Games, but he's got this friend who I've been dying to meet. Millennium Workshop. His name is
him.
Rex. Oh, okay. You know him.
him.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
That's Rex.
Rex is the man. I need to get him on the show. But his stuff, guys, if you haven't checked out, we're gonna plug him, even though he doesn't know it. Check out Millennium Workshop. Phenomenal. Definitely a good tutor.
He gave me some tips on finishing already, but super nice guy. I just actually started communicating with him just a few days ago. He was going to be on my stream the other night, and I messed up. And with StreamYard, if you set it up in StreamYard, you're good. But I set it up somewhere else, and it was a mess. So
it's a whole learning thing.
I ended up getting Salacious on there, so he was on. So when I had Salacious, it was not really collecting. It was the podcast, which is a little more off center of just saying I'm just Star Wars or just collecting. And we talked about movies and music and streaming services and when people used to have rotary telephones and silly stuff like that. So it really wasn't your straight up conversation about collecting, so that's how my podcast differs from my content, I guess.
Gotcha. So, very cool. Very cool. Well, that's great, man. 3D printing getting really big. I know, I'm not sure if you follow Greg Cook. Huge 3D printer. Obviously, Ed's getting it. You're getting it. Rex, awesome, man. So, let me welcome a few more people before a lot of people rolled in when we were talking. So we've got No Parts Garage. Yo, what's up, man? We've got
Big
Colin
Mike
from EC Collecting.
What's up?
We've got my buddy Chris from Everything's Plastic, all the way from Canada. What's up, brother? We've got the Man Collects, who will be on the show in 2 weeks. So make sure you guys check that out. Oh, congratulations to the Man Collects. 500 subs, and boy, he got there fast.
Nice.
But guys, if you haven't checked out the Man Collects, go check him out. And the legend.
There he is. Hello
there. There he is. And you know what? I owe him because I would have never known about you if it wasn't for him.
Hey, that's all right. I'll take it.
There you go. So what's up, General? We've got another legend, RB. What's up, brother? And no, we are not legends, my friend. I mean, I'm not. Brett might
in our own minds.
In our own, right? In our own minds. And then everybody else just saying hi to each other. So, all right. So we're gonna go way back in time, Brett. We're gonna start things out from when you were a young lad and you got into Star Wars. What was it about Star Wars and Star Wars toys that just kind of drew you in and made you want to buy them, and now kind of brought you there as an adult as well?
Yeah. Well, this isn't the actual one, but this was the first one that I had.
Gotcha.
I'm old enough that I got to actually go to the movies and see the movie when it came out. Then you're just walking through Kmart or the grocery store that had a toy aisle, or everywhere had them. hey mom, hey mom, hey mom. They're only a couple bucks, but I guess in '70s money that might have been a little steep.
Right.
But I remember ruining several of these, pulling the lightsabers out, scraping them on the driveway, melting them, burning them, you know, popping the heads off. Um, Collecting them never crossed my mind because I was such a little guy. I was only like 5 or 6, and the thing
Mhm.
was, so excuse me. So when the movie came out, um, I have older brothers, and they saw the movie. I went tagged along with them. Well, it played into the next year, into '78. So then in '78, when school let out in the summertime, we probably went and saw that movie, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, maybe more. So it was like any other fantasy film, sci-fi film, with cartoons or whatever else was out there at the time. I'm trying to really think, because that long ago, there wasn't anything on that level. I had Buck Rogers, uh, and Flash Gordon and things like that. Um, Star Wars just took it to a different level, but I was so little it didn't hit. But the toys were awesome,
Right.
and figuring out, like what's a Chewbacca and things like that. But I didn't really hang on to a lot of that stuff, because as you're growing up with it, like I said, you're losing it, you're tossing it. I wasn't at, like, my brother was at the age where he would have collected, and he
Sure.
and he did hang on to some stuff. But for me, it was just another toy, right? And then later on, it was more GI Joe, um, and then wanting to beat the kid up down the street who had the jet before you, or he had the
Right.
Falcon, or
Right.
my one buddy had the Death Star playset and
Oh.
stuff, and just you were like in the movie with that
Mhm.
stuff,
Mhm.
But what got me, like, just to jump forward, what got me collecting vintage again was not even the old stuff. It was the Saga stuff that's in the blue back cards
Yep.
from 2002, and it was the prequel stuff, because I had a son in 2000, so I started buying some stuff to hang on to from the episode one. And then about the time he was old enough to mess with stuff, they had the episode two stuff, and I just bought a ton of it. And I don't know, there was years where I didn't collect at all, and then I just turned around one day and went, "Wow, I got a lot of stuff, but I don't have any of the vintage."
Mhm.
And I was watching. I don't know. I think I was just searching around, like I didn't know where to start, and I found the Padawan Collector. I found Blue Harvest Toys, um, some of those guys, and then I'm like, their channels and their content was so good that I felt like they were like celebrities,
Right.
you
Right.
know. But then I realized, with watching Joey, for instance, he's saying things on there like telling you how to do this. He's like, get on Facebook, get in the Facebook groups. I'm like, what Facebook groups? And then I discover that stuff, and then I contact him, and then he's a super nice guy, super helpful. And you want to meet somebody nice, General Kenobi, Jose. I mean, if we lived near each other, we'd be really good friends. That dude is
Absolutely.
so down to earth, so
Absolutely.
nice, so
Yep.
just so cool. I love it when he hits me up and asks me to do stuff with him. Um, there was one time he asked me, like, the day of, and he's like, "I'm really sorry." I'm like, "No, man, I want to do it. I love talking to you about this stuff." We connected. But now I'll jump back a little bit. When Empire Strikes Back came out, then I was a little bit older, like, "Oh man, this is serious Star Wars right here." Like, "Whoa, what is this?" And then later on, I remember going to Return of the Jedi with my dad, and there was an element in all of those, like the first movie, when you hear the sounds and you see the smoke, and all of a sudden you hear the breathing, and Vader comes walking through that smoke.
It's nothing like it.
When you're 5 or 6 years old, something got soiled. Trust me.
Right.
When you're a little older and you go to see Empire Strikes Back, and there's the dark moments, like in the cave of evil, and Luke cuts off Vader's head. When you first see it, you're like, "Oh man, it's over. He got him."
Right.
But
Like,
it's his face.
no.
What? And then you go to Return of the Jedi and you see Luke in the black, and you're like, "Whoa!" And he's beating the hell out of Vader, and he's all angry, and the Emperor's telling him, "Let go of your hatred. Do it. Kill him." And it's like, man, this is crazy. They're like
Yeah.
imploring people to kill. What's going
Right.
on?
Right.
It
Right.
was it was always an element of darkness in there that I really uh, was sort of shaken by. But then they'd have the other side where it was like the light, like he would stop and say no, I'm
Yep.
I'm not doing it. He can come back to the good side. So I like that about the movies. Um, there's just so many other films though that were coming out by then. Harrison Ford took off with Indiana Jones
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
E.T. and all that, and Battlestar Galactica and the Buck Rogers TV show. And so whenever there's new shows like that, I don't go collect stuff from them, but I just love to watch them. Like I really liked The Expanse, Battlestar Galactica, some of the Star Trek stuff. Just always looking for something to sink your teeth into new along those lines. But
Right.
nothing connected with me quite like Star Wars. It was just
Yeah. And the funny thing about Star Wars, when you're a kid, you just don't get it. It takes
right.
like I didn't actually get Star Wars until I was probably about 20 because it's
Oh
like you
yeah,
said, it's hard to follow for someone that's little. You see the figures and you're like, "Oh, it's cool and stuff and Vader's scary." But trying to actually get it and put it together, you need to be a little more mature than like 5.
for sure,
You
for
got to
sure.
be in that spot. Who is your favorite Star Wars character? I got to ask that question before I forget it.
Um, it's like I guess it's by era.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
the
Mhm.
original trilogy, I would say once I figured out who Yoda was, it was Yoda because they always, say what you want how the films got put together. Um, they always had this element of mystery. When Darth Vader showed up, you didn't know who he was, what he was,
Mhm.
who.
Mhm.
You were just like it just like everything started in the middle of this story, and you heard these names and you heard this Jedi and things like that. I liked Obi-Wan. Um, I loved Han Solo. I loved Chewie as a little guy. Um, Princess Leia, everything. But in the first movie, it was probably Luke. It was probably Vader. It was probably the droids. Empire, though, it was probably Yoda, and then in the last one, it was probably, I don't know. It kind of teetered between Han and Luke. You know. But then when you get to later on to the prequels, like I really loved Qui-Gon.
Yeah, definitely.
I really loved how they brought Anakin up. Jake Lloyd as a little kid. I just liked seeing that arc for him to where he turned. People can say what they want about the dialogue and the script and all that. I just loved how that took place across those
Mhm.
films.
Mhm.
In the sequel trilogy, I really had a lot of high hopes for Kylo Ren. I thought that Force Awakens really gave us some great ideas and some great,
Definitely.
like a great start. Like this is cool.
Yeah.
This is cool. I wish they would have shown me Luke Skywalker sooner, but I'll take it. This is cool. And I thought Kylo Ren, when they showed him stopping the blaster bolts and killing folks and stuff right off the bat, I thought, okay, this is Empire Strikes Back level darkness. Here we go, and he's killing his own father and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, and then I don't know. It did what it did,
It did what it did. Kinda fell flat on its face, unfortunately.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I there's stuff in each one of those that I do like. I just wish there could have been some more consistency with that first film.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
hopefully they've learned from that when they do these further sequel movies, and we'll get some better storytelling, hopefully. But I tell you, man, for a comeback after all those years and a new company taking over, um, Lucasfilm knocked it out of the park with Force Awakens for me,
Mhm.
anyway. But
Mhm.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm always teeter between like Luke and Yoda, and the prequel Obi-Wan. I liked a lot when Ewan McGregor took the role. Um, and they always talk about the stories being based on hope, right? We're
Right.
always
Right.
hoping for like a really good movie. I was hoping Obi-Wan would have been a really great show, and I don't know. I think we get our hopes way too high,
Well, yeah. I mean,
way
they
too
kind
high.
of do that to us though, because it started out so high that
Yes,
everybody thinks it's gonna be at that level every
right,
single time.
right,
That's very irrational. If to be blunt, it is irrational, and it's like not every single thing is going to be like that.
yeah,
There's different timelines, there's different things, there's different ways of storytelling. When Lucas sold it, you can't go back to that.
yeah,
Lucas was a genius storyteller. So if you expect someone else to fill those shoes, that's just kind of
yeah, yeah.
not going to happen. So
Well, too, the sign of a great leader is often to put better people in charge of things,
right,
And I really think I really think that maybe there was years where Lucas didn't give enough credit to his supporting cast, but the thing that got those stories told were the people that he put around him, that worked on the scripts, that worked on the sets, that worked on the art. He planted the seed, and I'll tell you what, man, they did a bang up job of giving us those classic movies. I mean, he didn't direct the next two, but then you see in these documentaries that he was basically there all the time. But it was to the point where he would kind of take it, lay it out, give it away, and let them bring stuff back to him, and then they'd have their battles of what got on the screen. And then it's weird to think that contract negotiations with actors could affect the stories.
Oh, definitely.
Where you're like, I don't know, the films are 20, 30 years old, and you find out that Harrison Ford was only contracted for 2 films, and that's why they stuck him in the carbonite. That was never part of the plan.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, I always, forever it was all about the carbonite because he got thawed out and all this stuff took place,
contract disputes.
What if that wouldn't have been part of it? What would we have seen,
Right.
So
and it's funny you bring that up because I just read a blurb today that James Earl Jones was only paid, I think it was $7,000.
Yeah,
because they ran out of money. So they
Yeah.
were over budget on New Hope. Lucas went to him, he's like, I can give you 7,000, or I can give you a percentage, kind of like what they did with Alec Guinness. They
Yep.
gave Alec Guinness a percentage off of the
Right.
sales. Well, who knew it was going to make
Right.
$450 million in 77? So actually, James Earl Jones kind of got screwed because he took
Right.
the 7,000, and it was like, you never know. But that's a great point, man. You just never know what's going to happen, especially with a movie that was so original and so out there compared to anything else we'd ever seen.
I know.
Let me get back to a couple things here real quick. Real Batman background looks great. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm teetering between a couple, but I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Joe and Kenobi got a inside joke going. I'm not going to get into that. It's always a blast. Yeah, you guys kill it every time you're on his show. And where'd he go?
Sorry, man.
Oh, you're good. We just can't see you. Let's see. Everything's plastic. Don't hit that like button. Yep. And let's see. Michael Cherry, what's up, man? Good to have you here, buddy. Let's see if we can get Brett back here real quick, guys. Guys, if I'm going along, also, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. Be sure to ask Brett.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man.
Did it
You're
work?
good. You're good.
My phone I've got it on the phone so I could show you around the collection, and my alerts were going crazy, and I didn't know if that was like coming through on your end. So
it's always the way, man. You're trying to doing a live stream, and somebody's got to call you. So
I'm telling you. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. So yeah, you and I talked about this. We would love to see your collection. I always love it when people are willing to show around the collection. Kind of, you don't have to go through the whole thing, but why don't you hit some of the high points on what means a lot to you in your collection, and maybe give us a little background where you got it and why it means a lot to you.
Okay. Can I flip my camera? I think I can. Tap camera, right? No. Settings, camera. Back camera.
There you go. You're good.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So there's my YouTube setup. That took years to put together, so don't think I'm special. Let's see. Well, it was cool to get the Falcon again. That's original year. Let's see. Some of these helmets are really cool. This is what's behind me when I stream and stuff.
Gotcha.
The B1, I got him at Disney. You can pop their heads off and switch them out.
Okay.
So like it'll be like a pretty cool thing. Got this as a gift. That's the latest Black Series. One of my coolest things though, my good friend Brian Barnes at Brian Makes Dioramas, he made this for me, and it's the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kicked around some ideas. So that's Sid's parlor from the show. He made the sign, he made the tables, the games in the back, the lights, and it's all scaled to the Black Series guys. And I got Crosshair over there kind of ticked off, because he's
right.
But that's one of my just the most awesome things, and that kind of inspired me to start getting into the 3D stuff. my friend Aaron passed away last year. He was big into Star Wars, and he and I went to Disney together, and we made custom droids. And I made this one. He made another one. So I really like that. That's actually my biggest video. I never had a carded figure until this guy.
Oh, nice.
The only one I have carded, I got that from Gene at Orange Droid. When I was a kid, I did not have the Vader case or the 3PO. I still don't have the original real bright 3PO case. I do want to get that one at some point. That's kind of a story too that got me into the vintage. Here's my vintage cabinet. So my mother-in-law, when she was staying with me, she went to this estate sale and got this cabinet for me for $25.
Oh, what a steal!
So I ripped out the shelves. I added this shelving unit. I put plexi in the back. I've got a vinyl cutter, and I made the Death Star panels there, and I put some LED lights, and I might have $100 into it. And this was going to be for my vintage Star Wars Empire Jedi. And then I started the last 17, which I only have 9 of. This was my latest one. The
EV99.
EV99, more than my car payment.
Right.
So while I was hoping to like document as I bought everything, after I got through all these guys and I got to these guys, it's going to be a little slower.
Sure.
The Amana Man I got from the guy that makes the website Imperial Gunnery, Ragusa. He's out in New York. He's got the store out there. That thing is so clean that I thought it was a fake.
Oh, wow.
I was like, no way. Jeff Sage, he's a Spice Runner. I got this Phil Tippett signed plaque from him, and he designed the Rebo band. So I like that. That's my first ever autographed item. I don't know. Oh, speaking of Darth Vader's start, I even have a stormtrooper shower curtain.
Nice.
My basement,
very nice.
In my collection area bathroom. But a lot of the stuff, like when I was a kid and I had the X-wing here.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that. That's none of this stuff's from my childhood. I just wanted to have it again. But here's the stuff I was talking about. I started collecting with my son. Any of this carded stuff, and there's just so much of it. All of this. This is from Disney.
Yep. Remember that one? Mm-hmm.
That's from the saga stuff. This is proof that Luthen in Andor was a Sith. There it is. The laser sword out of the vehicle. That's proof.
Nice.
Here's the necklace that Anakin gave Padme. Right there. This guy. If you remember that from episode 1.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't forget.
Where was it? So this right here is what got me into the vintage again. When I was moving in with my wife, she unpacked this, and this is her stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like,
nice.
how the hell did you have that? And she said her grandma got it for her when she was a kid, so she just kept it all in the case.
Wow.
And
very cool.
One of the first things I bought vintage, though, I think I've had this since about 1998. You can push this here, and a door opens on the back, and it's got the plans for the Death Star in it. They actually say Death Star plans on it.
Nice.
I got that off eBay years ago. Saber from Galaxy's Edge. My sister had one made for me at Saber Forge. I've got the new Cal Kestis Saber on the way. I got some like VHS copies of the old movies back in there. Droids. Stuff like that.
Man, a lot of good stuff, man.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff.
A friend of mine gave me this. That's the DNA tracker from
Mandalorian.
And he gave me some
Beskar. Oh, you got some Beskar.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's my little focus there, that stuff. I got a gift. Somebody gifted me the Star Wars Life Day cookbook. So I was thinking, hey, I'll do some cooking stuff, you know.
What kind of recipes are in that cookbook?
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
it's kind of weird. But over here I have a lot more of those figures, carded figures.
I remember those Saga collections. They were like $5. Though that was the
They're pretty
time,
awesome
man.
though. They've got a
They're
lot of
awesome. That was one of my favorite ones. That and Revenge of the Sith were my favorite ones.
yeah. There's a variant on this one. He's got a bloody
Yep,
stump.
bloody stump. There's a
Yep.
bloody one, and then there's one where you can see the magnet.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
And then they had the deluxe versions
Oh yeah,
there.
love the deluxe.
I got my hands on the play set. Just trying to see. I had some cool stuff over here too. I had these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. So I got a lot of stuff like that.
Nice, man.
I got stuff everywhere down here.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. So modern wise, I mean, I saw a few Black Series. Are you still in the Black Series, or have you kind of backed away? Yeah.
I'm all over the place with that because like I have Rex. I've got Rex back there. I've got a Thrawn. That's probably my favorite Black Series ever right here. There's this one with the damage.
Oh, the one she's got the damage. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. My wife actually got me that as a gift and on a whim, and she's like, I didn't even know what I was grabbing, and I'm like, that's awesome.
And you can still get that one cheap. That one's like $19. It's not that pricey.
I really like the helmets though, the Black Series helmets. I know some guys are real sticklers about the movie correct and all that.
Well, yeah, but you're getting into so much money. Black Series actually does pretty good job with the
They're not bad, yeah.
They're not bad at all.
Let's see if I can switch back. Settings, camera.
Carlos, welcome to the show, buddy.
Okay.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, thank you so much for showing us your collection. Very nice, very impressive.
I didn't even show you the Sensi stuff, the warmers and all that. I'm into
all kinds of
stuff. The Black Series, though, the last stuff that I got was the Bad Batch, and Hunter was really hard to find. It took me like 5 months because I skipped out on the pre-order because I was kind of ticked off about that Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
That had come out when he was all skinny.
Yeah.
And emaciated and stuff. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore because I pre-ordered the George Lucas Stormtrooper. And I went down to Disney on one of those trips, and I walk into one of the stores, and there's like 150 of them, and I was still waiting on it. And I'm like, what's the sense of doing this then?
Right.
You know?
Why am I pre-ordering when I could do this? I could find it here, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. JMC, Joe says, awesome collection.
Thanks, man.
Real Batman also says, fantastic collection. Absolutely, man. Great collection. Great collection.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit in the back about YouTube. Give us the reason you decided to come to YouTube. So you told me in the back that you it was in 2006, but let's start from 2020. So when you came back on YouTube 2020, what was the reasoning, and what are your goals for YouTube?
Yeah, I started a YouTube account in 2006, having no idea what to do with it. There were years where I wanted to do a podcast or something like that, but I didn't have equipment. I didn't know what to do. I've always been into music and music production and stuff like that. So a buddy of mine and I had some old songs or something, and we put some videos up, and I don't know. I guess we were just doing it for each other. It was kind of like the new MySpace, I guess. We had no idea.
Yeah.
When it got to 2020, I knew that I wanted to do a podcast, and it was just going to basically be general life, entertainment, stuff you were into as a kid, stuff that was out now, something big that was news on the internet, whatever, UFOs, ghosts, just anything
and everything,
anything entertaining, right. urban legends, stuff like that. And I don't know, I just didn't have the balls to kind of kick it off, and I found a friend of mine I was asking about it, and he had done a podcast. I was like, will you come do it with me? So
it's always easier when you got somebody with you, right?
Well, yeah, and you're bouncing a conversation off of somebody else.
Exactly.
And learned a lot. Did that for about, I don't know, maybe 6 months. And then a friend of mine had gotten sick and asked me to help him out with some stuff. And I don't know, how long did we go? I think we went like a full year. And then I just decided to kind of put that on hiatus and do just a straight up Star Wars collecting channel, because I figured I could just make some videos of my collection, put them out there, and then hang out with my buddy that was sick, you know.
Right.
And so off and on, bouncing that around for the year, I was doing vlogs, toy hunts, going to people's collections, taking road trips, doing different stuff like that. And then it took off in the summer, and then going into winter, I was kind of hitting burnout point, because I was just like streaming. I was trying to get hours, so I'm like streaming randomly like 7 times a week and doing all
Yeah,
this crazy stuff. And
that'll
you
burn you
really
out.
should just keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible,
Hmm.
from your equipment that you use to the way you present your content to your editing and things like that. And there's so much free stuff out there. If anybody asked me like, how should I start? I'd say use anything that's free. So use your phone that you've already owned.
Yep.
And there's editing stuff that's on your phone sometimes. Like I have an iPhone, there's iMovie. Dude, you can make one of my biggest videos I did it on my phone. So,
Hmm.
there's Canva, all kinds of stuff. Fonto, you can make cool ass thumbnails and stuff. And so then the channel grew, still growing. And it's crazy because I hit monetization and I did not have 100,000 views. And I've got friends
Wow.
like Jose. He's what, 300,000, two hundred fifty
He's close.
thousand,
Yeah, he's like 220,
and he
230.
doesn't
Yeah, yeah.
have the hours.
Right. The
You
hours are
know,
the hardest part to
it's
get.
so
It's
weird.
insane.
It's
Yeah.
so weird. And I
Yeah.
don't think that it's anything to do with my content necessarily being better than his. I think it's just where people were 2 years ago, as I was putting a lot of that
Yep.
together
Yep.
into last year, and then coming into this year, it's like everything fell off a cliff, because the importance from the platform is on shorts. And you can't say it's not, because if you're a regular user of the app, the minute you open the app, the first thing it goes to is a
Shorts.
short.
Yep.
And I understand that they're trying to compete, and they're trying to compete for eyes, and they're trying to compete for ad revenue and all that. And it really screws with how you present stuff and what you want out of it. So I had to kind of just let it all go for a minute. Like today, like I'm not putting out a regular video today. I have a podcast episode coming out at 7:30 tonight, and I've already done it. You know what I mean? So like my channel members have already seen it. The people that were there when it recorded it live, they've already seen it. All
Right.
I'm doing is just saying that's the day that I scheduled to have the computer
Hmm.
kick it out to the masses. Not that the masses are looking, but
Right. Right.
it's just you gotta like plan it out. So as far as any goals, I mean, my goal would be to have 10 million subscribers and 2 million views per video 5 times a day, like Penguin Zo and
Right.
what's his name, Charlie. I always screw up the name of his channel, Penguin Zo or whatever it's called. He averages like 2 million views a video.
I mean,
So even on the low end, that's 10 grand. He's probably got sponsorship deals. So he's probably, you just figured 20 grand a video. The guy's probably making 400 G's a week.
right. Right.
That would be my ultimate goal. That's not going to happen anytime soon.
Sure.
So my thing is with monetization is like they make it like this carrot, and you chase it and you chase it and you chase it. And the thing is, when you finally get that bite of it and you unlock all the features of YouTube that you can use, you realize that it's not that you're starting over again. You just realize where you're at, and it's really that it should never be about the money, because it ain't
Never.
gonna be there. It ain't
Nope.
gonna be there.
Nope. Nope.
So like I can tell you from November, December, January, because they won't cut you a check until you hit $100.
Yep.
So I hit like $133 and got a check. But when you looked at the analytics of that, a lot of that was me experimenting and buying gifted memberships to see if people would re-up the next month.
Gotcha.
So I said, hey, I'm going to experiment for 3 months. I'm going to try this. So I talked to a bunch of bigger guys. I talked to like Super John over at Super Awesome Geek Show, and I talked to Left Coast Rick, and I talked to some of these other guys. And I said, here's what I'm going to try and see how it works out, And it's not that nobody came back or stayed. It's just like, what are you really doing? Like,
Correct.
yeah, I can give you some extra content and stuff, but like then I'm just kind of serving that, and I need to serve my viewers. I need to have fun. Hey, I love Star Wars. I love all this other stuff. It's all about sort of memorabilia and things like that. And I kind of lost my way a little bit. So they say to stay like on a path. Like I should say, I'm only on vintage Star Wars, but I'm not. Like that's not me.
Right.
It's not you. We're all dynamic people. Like I watch your content, and you're showing me GI Joe. You're showing me the Power Rangers or something, right? So you're talking to different people. It's like that's what it's about. Like that's who we should. That's
Exactly.
like the person we want to watch.
Exactly.
I can't try to just cast a net only for like a Star Wars person. It's not going to work. And so I wouldn't put other content on my channel for a while. And I talked to this guy, AJ Core TV. Adrian, became friends with him. And he just said to me one day, he's like, dude, think about it. If you only knew people that were into Star Wars and you had 100 friends that they were all big Star Wars nuts, right? He says, how many of them do you think play video games? I was like, oh, absolutely, at least 90. He goes, well, then why wouldn't you play video games too? Like,
There you go.
why
There
are you
you
so
go.
worried that you got to have just this on Tuesday and this on Thursday? He's like,
Right.
So that kind of helped. And then I don't know if you know Dave's Dimension.
Yep.
So he had posted a thing, and he was basically saying a lot of the same things that I had been through. And I'm like, bro, because he started another channel for something, and it was very slow going, very small still. And I was like, bro, your bigger audience is already there. Just give them more.
Yeah.
Give them more. Bring that content over there and spread it and give them. So that I took my own advice when I brought my podcast back, and I was like, it doesn't have to be a Star Wars podcast. It could be about unsolved murders. Just put it in the podcast playlist and let people know it's there, and it'll get its views. And some of those 1,000 people that don't show up half the time might look at that from an alert and go, well, damn, I might check that out. I don't know.
Exactly.
You already have like a bigger chance of just throwing something out there and having it seen than starting fresh.
Absolutely. There's no sense in narrowing yourself. If like you said, if I only had Star Wars people on here, I'd have you and Kenobi every week. It's
Right.
like that's not going to
Right.
work. You have to adjust. You have to
Yeah.
adapt to what's going on, and,
Yep.
and it's not fun. No offense to anybody, but it's not fun talking to the same people over and over and over. You want different perspectives from different people's their experiences. That's why I ask you the questions I ask you. I want to know what
Yeah.
your experience has been with it. So
Yeah.
a lot of good information, man. A lot of good
Yeah.
information.
It's such a grind to get there, and then you get there and you're like, oh man, like that only made 16 cents. That
Right.
breaks your heart. But you just if you just look at it for what it is and not pay attention to that stuff so much, you'll be fine. Just keep doing what you're doing and enjoy it. Just enjoy it. And so the community of people that I've been meeting, the friends I've been making,
Exactly.
they are legit friends. They are for real people. I can message these guys that have big reputations and big subscriber bases and big shows on there. I can get a hold of one of these guys on a Saturday morning and pick their brain about stuff. And then next thing I know, they're telling me some personal things. And it's like, this is what friendship is.
Exactly.
And the thread is this stuff, but it's kind of like, it's social media, but it's like, to me, it's like the good social media, because
Absolutely.
toy collectors, movie fans of like sci-fi franchises like Star Wars are just terrible. They're the best and the worst. They're toxic as hell. They're vicious. They don't have a problem telling you something sucks. And it's like, you can find a better way to do these things. You're choosing not to right now.
Yep.
And there's people out there that can really be affected and hurt by that. I don't know. I've found myself wanting to like get into like little arguments and stuff. It's like, just let it go. This person just typed it.
Yep.
They took a breath and just let out whatever they thought without thinking, and they just kept going. It's not going to change anything. And I would, an overall goal at one point when I started that podcast channel was that, hey, these people are all saying within 3 years you'll be monetized. So I have to give it 3 years. So if that was my goal, I beat that goal. But does that mean I'm making money to make a living in 3 years, or just I'm monetized? So I readjusted because my views are so small. I mean, I thought coming into this year, I would only stream so that I could connect with people. And then I would only do shorts so that I could just show bits and pieces of that to get you to come watch every week. Right. Well, I started doing that, and I started gaining subs on the shorts, and the streams were like my lowest viewed content. It was the most lucrative as far as money, but that was because friends of mine were tipping or super chatting or buying a membership or buying memberships to gift them, stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? This can't really just be about this. So I turned off all my ads on my videos with the exception of my podcast videos. Shorts you can't turn off. And I just took my membership to 99 cents. And all it really is to say, you get a cool badge next to your name, so I know you're with me. You're in my community, my camp, whatever. And I'm gonna get you guys word first when things come about, and I'm gonna do some stuff on Discord, do some watch parties there, stuff like that, just so we have our kind of cool kids club, and it's only $1. Other than that, I don't have any other tiers or anything like that. I have a Patreon for the podcast, simply because when you want to grow a podcast, there's free ways to do it, and then there's ways to do it for about, I don't know, $15-20 a month. So my goal was simply to have it support itself. Other than that, I don't have the monetization thing turned on very many videos. I have 250 videos. There might be like an older playlist that has it on. And then the podcast, that's it. I turned it off on everything and just said 99 cents. I'm not worried about the money. It's just to be in the cool kids club, and then I take the $15 or whatever it is, and I buy the stuff for giveaways. So I'm basically giving people back.
Right.
Anyway,
so there's incentive. There's incentive.
I mean, plus like the other night, so I have a sponsor for the podcast, and they made me this custom, like Darth Vader tumbler with a keychain and these little car coasters, right? So I gave that away, and I was like, well, I had a reprint of the issue number 1, 1977 Star Wars comic.
Nice.
So I gave that out, as a prize. So it's like, I probably spent more than I made, but big deal. It's like, I'm doing a giveaway, getting some attention to what I'm trying to do, having fun. I don't care. Like, here, take it, go. It's cool. And actually, the guy that won, Rolando.
Wow, you don't say.
That dude.
He's not even in the chat. That
dude, check it out, though. He was at another stream that night, and somebody else, I said to him, the big winner, and somebody else goes, oh, yeah, I forgot. By the way, I'll get you that prize sent out. And I'm going, I see why he's doing this now.
I don't understand. We say it every week. I don't know how he does it. He's like on.
He's got to have like 5 burner phones.
Well, he was doing it. He was on Ed's this afternoon. He's like, I'm driving, but I'm still listening. Like, dude, I think he's got it in his ear when he's sleeping. I really do.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
Amazing.
I mean, that's what I wish that YouTube would do when you are monetizing, you do the membership thing. I wish it would be set up like Discord, because on Discord, I could just give you an invite. You don't have to pay in. So if there's people you want to be like a moderator, you just add them. YouTube won't let you do that. So they'll send you surveys when you're monetized and ask about stuff like that. And I've said it several times, like, make it like Discord so I can add people to these premium features and let them be moderators for me and sort of carry the message for me. And I was like, man, I'd love to have that guy be in this stuff so I could, because I do like watch parties and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know. He's just a really supportive guy.
Yeah. No,
unbelievable. But I was like, I see his scheme now. I was like, aha.
He's going to just win it. He won Kenobi's giveaway a while back.
See?
Yeah, I think he's got like this little inside way of getting every giveaway. Right. He won that effing figures. He won Joe and Collins the other day too. He's just.
I was on Spice Runners with those guys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Let me welcome a couple more people that dropped in as we were talking. Legacy Nerd, what's up, Daniel? Man, you talk a guy that's blowing up. I mean, but deservingly so. He's getting great interviews. Daniel, keep it up, man. You're doing great. Also got the Vipers pet who's going to be on in late July. So thanks for showing up, buddy. Appreciate it.
Is that a little G.I. Joe action there? Gilster, what's up?
Yeah. Gilster. Got to remember, everyone has a different work schedule. If I know you have a live stream and can't make it, I'll catch it. That's exactly what I do. Like I always miss
and
Chris's.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I always miss Chris's from Everything's Plastic because it's on Saturday and I'm usually doing something. But I always catch it, the replay, and I always tell them, guys, that's the other thing too. If you catch the replay, that's what I appreciate about Kenobi and Hey Archer. They always tell me when they hit the thing, because that way they don't get an Instagram, a nasty gram. Like, where the hell were you?
It's hard. I mean, I got to.
There's so many. There's so many, man.
I stopped watching the whole. I just put the phone down for a week or two, sometimes, and just.
You have to, because
you
you
know?
will neglect your family, you will neglect your kids, you
Yep,
will neglect your health, all
yep,
of it. I think that was
definitely.
me. I told Orlando I was sending out his winnings. Nice. And we've got Jeff in the house too. What's up,
That
Jeff?
was JMC Collects, I
That
think.
was JMC.
I think
Yes,
it
it
was. That's
was. Yes,
funny.
it
That's
was.
funny.
Yes, it was. Yeah, but what you said is on point. Everybody that's on this show, I asked the same thing, and they've all come to the realization that this is purely for fun. This is purely to
Yeah,
get to know.
yeah,
I'm closer with a lot of people here than I am in my personal life. Like Carlos, Carlos and I talk all the time.
yeah,
Dre and I talk all the time. Kenobi and I talk a lot. It's
yep,
like this has become more, like you said, it's more of a friendship thing. It's more of a social hour way
right,
where you can
right.
just talk to people that we wouldn't normally talk to
Yeah,
about all this stuff. And
right.
that's really the driving force. And if it's not, if you're watching this and you think you're going to make money, you're not.
It's
Don't
it's
do it.
it's tough. It's really
It's
tough.
there's just a
You
few and
get
far between.
into
Yep.
buying equipment that you don't really need
No,
and
no.
doing all this crazy stuff, and, like I showed you my setup back there, I've got a PS5 sitting there, I've got a Rode, uh what do you call it? The Procaster, the big mics and all that stuff. But dude, that took like 3 years. I didn't just go buy all that
You
at
didn't
once.
just drop a few grand and say,
No.
okay, here I am.
If anybody was gonna say like, I've got a good camera and a mic, what should I do for my content? I would say, so what I've got, I went and got a dry erase calendar, and I used to have it all filled up, and now all I do is simply keep myself in check on my content day is Sunday. I finally figured that out because I was all over the place for like a year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you keep trying different things and you're chasing something, you're never going to catch it. You have to do one or two things consistently and then do another thing that you're just trying. So like I would say on Sundays I drop my videos.
Hmm.
On Tuesday I might drop like a follow-up if I have it. If I don't sweat it. But Sunday's always the day I drop stuff. And then for a while I would say one short a day. Well, I'm not even doing that. And just during the week I go through my phone, through my camera roll. I'll look at my content. If I see something funny, I'll try to make a little short and put it out there. And like I just did a short from a Disney vacation showing the A-Wing, but I put the sound is Paul Walker asking Vin Diesel or somebody in the first Fast and Furious, like, "Hey, how much is that car?" And
Nice.
it's over that, looking at
Yeah.
that life-size Star
Yep.
Wars thing.
Yep.
That thing's like blowing up today. It's almost 3,000 views, right?
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
have any videos with that kind of views. I have,
Well, it's crazy. There's some people, Joe from JMC Collects, and
yeah,
Chris from Everything's Plastic. They can attune to this too. Chris has got one. It's the Freddy's Nightmares, whatever it is. Those bears. He's got
yep,
one. It's the Gold Bear. It's got like 50,000 views.
yeah,
Joe's got one where he found the cell shaded Spider Man. It's got like 18,000 views. It's
yeah,
insane. But if you want to build subs, and that's kind of what I want to do, I drop 4 or 5 shorts a day just because
yeah.
they're the most fun to make for me. I love making shorts,
Yeah,
and it's
you
like,
have to,
you know,
you have to space them out.
I don't do that.
So I know, but
Yeah.
the reason is when it takes off, sometimes it's like 4 hours later,
Yeah, or days later. I've
and then
noticed
it's
that.
like 12 hours after
Yeah,
that, and then it's
yeah,
like 24 hours after that. So like I
yeah.
dropped that video yesterday, it didn't do anything, and then I don't know, like 6 in the morning, I looked at it, and it was
Yep.
1,500. Then the
It
next
gets
day it was
pumped up
like over
again.
2,000. But yeah, do whatever you got to do,
Yeah, I
man.
mean, it's up
Whatever it
to you.
takes. Just
Mhm.
if that's what but I would tell somebody, like I said, just make a plan that you can keep up with that's easy,
Right,
like one thing a week.
right.
If you want to do something where you talk to your buddies, like, okay, perfect example, Spice Runners Lounge, they talk on Friday nights, 8 p.m. for me,
Mhm.
it's Central Time. Um, that's their thing for a long. I talked to Evan about that for a while, and that's the day he gets together with his buddies. They have a drink. They're all at home. Nobody's hurting anybody.
Right.
Having a laugh, having a guest, consistently doing that, right? No other real videos. Later on, he started doing more videos and shorts and things like that. But dude, he blew up. He went to 1,000 subs like that. I mean, bam. It wasn't his goal. It was just his thing was, I'm going to do this. This is where the
Yeah, that's
party
the thing.
is.
Mhm.
And this is it. Boom, boom, boom. So if you just concentrate on that one thing and try to make it good, then you can branch out and do everything
Sure,
you want to do,
sure. And have fun with it. If it's not
Yeah,
fun, why are you doing
yeah.
it? You
Like I
gotta.
was telling you earlier, I thought I would document every week new figures, because I had made like a bulk purchase and I got like 60 figures at once, but it took me like months to pay for them from a local toy shop. Well, then when I get into these last 17, I mean, I can't afford to get one of these every week.
Big money.
I'm not going to buy stuff just to have content. This is my collecting, so I'm going to document it. But it's like it's been probably 3 or 4 weeks now, maybe 5 weeks since I got that last one. So I don't know when the next one's coming. I mean,
right, you gotta.
Prices are getting better, but like you made the joke. Everybody started something in 2020. A lot of the advice and the things that we've learned are all because these people that figured something out that year. That's what they kind of made the game.
It did.
And then you get it in your head that that's how you have to do it or you're gonna do it, and it's like it's not working anymore.
No,
People are going back to work. People are going. They're okay going outside again, and they're not
right.
looking at their phones so much.
Well, there's just a huge amount of people trying to do this now too.
Yes.
You've got. I think I see almost at least one or two new ones a week, and
I've been
that's
noticing a
probably.
few. Yeah.
It's just all the time.
Yeah.
So that's friends, but that's also in a way that's competition as well.
Definitely.
I don't
Yeah.
like to look at it like that, but I mean that is kind of the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
It can be that.
Yeah.
So and Legacy Nerds, right? Of 1,000 videos, like $7. So
Yeah.
it's just hard to do. Gary's Grails, what's up, Gary?
There he
Good to
is.
see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping
I
in.
saw one guy say if you could get 1,000 videos on every video, you could consider that a win. And if you could find a way to do that consistently, you would only have to do one. You wouldn't even have to do one video a week. You would have your hours, within, I don't know, he said like 12 or 15 months, something like that. It just because each video was good enough to hit that. And if you could do that consistently, my biggest video is like 18,000 views, and it's a 24-minute video of me building that droid at Disney World at Galaxy's Edge. But after that, none of my other videos, I think the biggest viewed video after that's like 1,500 views. There's shorts that are more views than that.
Sure.
But I told a guy just Friday, we were talking. He says, what do you think your goal would be? Just like you asked me. I said, you want to know something that would be a cool goal? Is to have a video or a short get 1 million views just to say I did it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it'll ever happen because I think it would be, for me, dumb luck. There are guys that can craft some really cool storytelling in a 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. I said, I just think it'd be cool to throw something out there and have it take off and then go, hey, I got 1 million videos, because this 10 million views in 90 days or whatever for shorts to get monetized, that's insane.
It's impossible.
It's insane.
It's impossible. I think it's easier to get the hours because it shifts. It's only in the 365, so it's like you're doing good for a while, then it shifts, and it's like, nah, man.
I mean, I've tried 8-hour streams. I've tried 3-hour streams consistently, multiple streams a day, multiple streams a week, videos. I would do a stream on a Friday, and then over the weekend edit it so I had videos that I could take out of it. And on Tuesday I could do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, video. Friday, boom, the stream again. Right. Take a day off, and you can do that for a while, and then it's just like
it wears you out.
you start getting yelled at by people at home. It's
like I can't be on this long. Yeah.
I mean, if I was making money, it wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
But when they say things that make sense, like, well, is that worth what you made on that video? Let me check the analytics. Oh, $1.30.
No, not worth it.
I guess not. So.
Yep. Legacy says getting monetized and being in the 1,000 sub area makes you realize you need way more subs. Yeah, I bet it does.
But after you hit that number, it's all about getting views as far as money's concerned.
Sure.
Like the bigger sub base doesn't mean that you'll have more views. It's like the percentage of your subs to your views is usually around 10% or less.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at the guy that had, I rated him one time. I took a guy that had 13 million subs. He was averaging like 2 million views a video. His streams were much less. And you could look at the percentage of subs to views. And my percentage was actually better, even though I had like 100 views on something.
See, that's crazy.
The percentages are just way crazy skewed. It's like people will sub to something and then never come back. And that's the hard part.
And that's the thing.
Come back.
That's the thing. It's like you usually get more views from non-subs than you do from subs, and it's
On
like
shorts especially.
the shorts especially. Yep,
Um,
you're right. It's like they sub and they just forget about it. They never check you out ever again.
yeah,
Yep.
the analytic that'll hurt you on subs is the one that shows how many swiped away.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
show you how many stayed and how many left, and you're like, I don't need to see this.
Like 80%
I
swipe
don't
away.
need, I don't need to see this. Yeah.
So Jeff missed it. He got a little late, so he missed it. How many of the last 17 Star Wars vintage do you have carded or loose?
Carded none, loose 9, complete 8. So a few months ago, the Stormy Luke, he's incomplete. I got him for $50.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, he was like 650. Cleaner than this. He was running around 650 with that original blaster, because that original blaster is like hard to spot. And I think he's going for like 350 now. He's had a nice little drop. But the cleaner they are, the more they are. But
Sure.
yeah, they're I know, like, I watched Joey, he was saying he was gonna go back and get the vintage collection again graded. That guy's insane. He's insane. I don't know how he does it, man. That's gonna be a lot, because he
So
went through
much.
and showed his investment up through the last 17. It's a lot of money, and then he's gonna go graded. It's like, wow.
And
Yeah,
grading's so expensive too.
it
Grading's
is.
a lot.
It's a
It's
lot to
like
send it out. Then you have to wait.
then
Then
you
you
get
get it.
disappointed that it's like a 6, and it's like,
But
oh
I
man.
mean, and then yeah, it's gonna be worth more. But
Yeah.
it's like Rick from Left Coast always says, "Let them breathe." He always
Right.
wants
Let
them
'em
loose. I don't
be out there.
normally touch them a lot, but um, he's got a point.
Yeah.
I will say, Orange Droid on Facebook, the group Orange Droid, Gene Smith's the guy that runs it. I've probably gotten more figures from him than anywhere else. He is just a fair guy. He knows the market. He knows the values. Chris Wildminster, what are they, Rogue 5 Toys? He also grades. They've got the podcast. What's it called? The Five Idiots. I can't remember the name of it. Blanking out, but he's super smart about that stuff. So you get to know some of those guys, and they're the true the pros at it.
Right.
What was I going to tell you too? I forgot, but they've had all these cons lately. So some of those guys will go to the cons and actually grade stuff at the cons.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, but otherwise you're waiting 6 or 8 months to get
Yeah,
stuff
it's a
back.
long time. It's a long.
And I mean, I've spent the last 40 years without these things. I don't want to give them back to somebody, send them
Right.
out to
Well,
somebody.
you don't want it to get lost in the mail, or who knows
Yeah,
what could happen. So so he says, nice man. I just went for the best figures. $50 is a score. Definitely.
yep, yep.
Definitely. All right, man. Well, that went by really fast. We're at the hour. I didn't get to ask you everything, so I'll definitely have to have you back on again, man. But thank you so much again for coming on. Really appreciate you being
Speed
on.
round.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna have to give you some speed questions and
Yeah,
shoot you like that. So
yeah. Thanks for hitting me up. I appreciate it.
yeah, man, absolutely. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Brett and Collected with Cool, please go do that. Please check out all his content. As he said a couple times, drops content on Sunday. So check that out. Check out his podcast and check out his shorts. Do all those things. All right. Well, that'll do it for us. I don't really have anything else other than our guest next week is the man, the myth, the legend. T3 Collects. Carlos is
Cool.
back with us. We're going to talk about his move of his live Overgrown Third Graders podcast to Tuesday night. So we're going to talk about that a bit. Talk about some future guests he's going to have on. Yours truly is one of those guests. So we will talk about that as well. So hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. Brett, thank you again. We will see you guys next week. You guys have a good week. Later.
Later.